On a quiet Friday in May 2026, the United States government did something it had refused to do for 80 years. It opened the vault. 162 files. FBI reports, NASA mission records, military memos marked, classified, for decades. All released, not leaked, not stolen, released, on direct order from the president himself. And buried inside those pages was a question nobody in Washington wanted to answer out loud. What have they actually seen up there, and why did it take this long to tell us? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's in those files, the photos, the witnesses, the cover-ups they finally admitted to. Stay with me, because the last document on this list is the one that changed everything. It didn't start with aliens. It started with a podcast. In February 2026, former President Barack Obama sat down for an interview and said something that stopped the internet cold. Talking about unidentified aerial phenomena, he admitted that strange, unexplained things had been reported by pilots and officials for years, things nobody in government could fully explain. He wasn't claiming little green men. But the way he said it, careful, almost cautious, made people listen closer than usual. Within days, President Trump responded. He announced he was ordering federal agencies, the FBI, NASA, the Department of Defense, to begin identifying and releasing every file connected to UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, and reports of extraterrestrial life. He called it maximum transparency. But transparency has a price, because once you promise to open the files, the whole world starts asking, what exactly are you going to show us? 3 months later, it happened. May 8, 2026. A new government website went live, stark black background, white typewriter text, like something out of a spy film. And with it, 162 documents dropped all at once. Inside were things the public had never legally seen before. Photographs from the Apollo 12 and Apollo 17 missions, astronauts' own images, flagged decades ago, never fully explained. FBI reports of ordinary Americans, a woman driving home, coworkers in a parked car describing objects in the sky that defied simple explanation. One report noted she almost didn't file it at all, afraid of being mocked. Her coworkers laughed at her anyway. Military memos from war zone. A possible small unidentified object, spotted over Iraq in 2022. Strange lights with no known origin, seen over Syria in 2024. And an infrared image, black and white, grainy, unmistakably real, captured over the western United States in December 2025, just months before the release. This wasn't ancient history. Some of this was happening right now. What made this release different wasn't just the documents. It was who stood behind them. FBI Director Kash Patel called it a landmark moment, insisting the Bureau was giving Americans unfettered access, a level of openness he claimed no previous administration had ever delivered. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman went further, promising the agency would stay honest about what it knows, what it doesn't, and what still needs to be discovered. Even a name from the past resurfaced in these pages, a 1955 sighting involving a U.S. senator who would later chair the Armed Services Committee, reporting strange objects seen from a train window overseas. For the first time, the people who normally deny, deflect, or classify were the ones opening the door. But here's what almost nobody noticed in the excitement. Not one of these files confirmed aliens exist. This is the part of the story most headlines skipped. Despite the buildup, despite the years of speculation, the government's own review found no confirmed evidence of extraterrestrial life anywhere in these records. Some older FBI files mention witnesses describing small figures near unidentified aircraft. But officials were clear. These are personal accounts, not verified proof. Stories, not science. It's a strange kind of disappointment, and also, in its own way, honest. Because if the government wanted to fool the public, this was its chance to sell a story. Instead, it released decades of confusing, unresolved, sometimes unsettling reports, and admitted, we don't fully understand this either. That's rarer than most people realize. Most cover-ups end with an answer. This one ended with a shrug and a promise that more files are coming. So why does any of this matter, if there's no smoking gun, no captured spacecraft, no alien handshake? Because for the first time in modern history, three of the most secretive institutions in America, the FBI, NASA, and the Pentagon, opened records most citizens assumed they'd never see in their lifetime. It matters because a mother driving home one night, scared to even report what she saw, is now part of the official historical record, instead of being laughed into silence. It matters because pilots, soldiers, and scientists who spent years documenting the unexplainable finally had their reports acknowledged, instead of buried. And it matters because officials confirmed this is only the first release. There are more files still coming, more nights, more witnesses, more unanswered questions waiting in government drawers. So no, we still don't have proof of alien life. Not yet. But we now know something almost as important. The people paid to know the truth have officially admitted they don't fully know it either. And that leaves one question hanging in the dark, the same one that started this whole story. If they're finally willing to show us this much, what exactly are they still deciding not to show?